Good morning, dear students. This is your teacher Neelam Elawat. Now, in this particular lecture today, we'll be talking about the population interactions. So far, dear students, we have talked about the two population interactions. One is the competition, another is predation. Now, in this particular video, we'll be talking about the third population interaction, that is called as parasitism. In parasitism, actually, there will be two organisms involved. One is parasite and second is a host. So parasite is an organism that depends on the host. So parasites gets the benefit from the host. So parasite has a positive impact if the host is present, and the host has a negative impact. So this relationship, basically, it is a positive relationship. It is a beneficial relationship for the parasite, but it is a detrimental or a negative relationship for the host. Okay, and as you can see in the pictures, can you see in the pictures? I'm magnifying the pictures, dear students. See, you can look at the first picture where you see that the larvae, these are the wasp larvae, parasitic wasp larvae that are emerging from a caterpillar, and the caterpillar is the hornworm. Okay, so in this case, the wasp larvae, they are acting as a parasite over the tomato hornworm. Second, as you can see here, cuscuta plant. As you can see in this, the cuscuta plant, it is wrapped around the hedge plant. Okay, it is wrapped, it's a parasite on the hedge plant. It derives nutrition from the hedge plant, and this cuscuta plant does not contain chlorophyll. Just imagine, this plant does not have chlorophyll and it wraps itself on the hedge plant and derives nutrition from this hedge plant. Secondly, in addition to this, the parasites, they have some special structures which are referred to as suckers. Like in case of lampreys and leech. Okay, in case of leech, like this is, you see this structure in case of leech, or this is the structure in case of lampreys. These structures, they are referred to as suckers, and they help in attaching the parasite on the host body so that they can derive the nutrition from the host body. So they have certain special structure which are called suckers, and suckers help in the attachment of the parasite on the host body. Okay, right. Now, in several cases, it has also been observed that many parasites, they are host specific, means they only parasitize on a single host species, and both of them, they evolve together. Evolve together means that if the host develops certain mechanisms so that the parasite cannot attach with it, cannot bind with the body, cannot derive nutrition from the host, so that the host can save itself from the parasite. In the likewise, in the same manner, the parasite also develops mechanisms so that it can effectively bind to the host. So both of them, they evolve mechanisms, or we can say both these species, that is the host and the parasite, they evolve together so that the host can combat, or you can say can avoid the parasite, while the parasite will develop mechanisms so that it can counter attack the host and can develop in a better way in the host body. Okay. So there are certain mechanisms, there are certain adaptations that have been observed in case of parasites, like there is a loss of sense organs. The parasites, they do not have sense organs, and one of the features that I have told you is suckers, presence of suckers so that they can attach. Then they do not also have digestive system, since they depend on the host for the food, and the host will provide them the digested food, so they don't need any digestive system. And they also have a high multiplication rate, high reproduction capacity, so that once they are inside the host, they multiply rapidly. Okay, they multiply rapidly. Now, in some parasites, it has also been observed that they have a very complex life cycle, and in some cases, they require more than one host to complete their life cycle. Like as you can see in the picture, human liver fluke. See, look at this. This is a human liver fluke. It basically depends on two intermediate hosts before it comes to the humans. That is your snail and the fish, so that it can complete its life cycle. So total there are three you can say host. One is snail, then fish, and then finally the human beings. In case of malarial parasite, it depends on the mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, they spread this malarial parasite from one organism to the another. So in totality, I can say that parasites basically they harm the host, and in several cases they may kill the host also. So they reduce the survival chances of the host. They reduce the population of the host, and they also affect the growth and reproduction. And in all, the impact of all these things is that the host becomes physically weak and it becomes more prone to the attack of predators. तो आपका जो होस्ट होता है वो कमज़ोर हो जाता है एंड और भी predators उसे अटैक कर सकते हैं, and that will ultimately lead to the death of that particular host. Now coming to the types of parasites. See, there are two kinds of parasites. The very first is the ectoparasite, and as the name suggests, ectoparasite. Ecto means the parasite which lives on the surface of the host. Like lice, they live in your head, so they are outside your body. Ticks on dog, mites in case of buffaloes and cows. These are all ectoparasites. If you look at the photographs, just let me see. See, in case of sea copypodes, the sea lice, they are found attached. You see, they are attached to the eyes of the fishes on the external surface. So they are also acting as a parasite. Cuscuta, again, it is wrapped around the hedge plant. So it is an ectoparasite. The human lice, which is found in the head, it sucks your blood. So it is present outside your body. So it is also an ectoparasite. Okay. Now, although we have discussed that the plasmodium is being transported to human beings by a female mosquito. Now, female mosquito is not considered as a parasite. Although it feeds, it takes our blood, but it is not considered parasite because it takes blood only for reproduction. ये अपने आप को reproduce करने के लिए, multiply करने के लिए हमारा blood लेती है, but it does not take blood as a food. Okay, so the blood that it takes is not acting as a food. So we are not this female mosquito is not considered as a parasite. Second is the endoparasite. Endo means inside. The parasites that live inside the body of the host. वो parasites जो host की body के अंदर रहते हैं, those parasites they are referred to as endoparasites. Like they can be observed to be living in the liver, kidney, lungs, RBCs, etc. The life cycle of the endoparasites is a bit more complex in comparison to the ectoparasites, and they show simple, you can say morphological or certain anatomical features so that we can distinguish. They have certain modified features so that they can live inside the host, and they have a higher rate of multiplication. That means their number increases constantly and with a rapid way. Very fastly their number will increase. Like as you can see in the picture, roundworms that lives inside your body, tapeworm again in your intestine, liver fluke again lives in the liver. So this sums up your endoparasites. So we have two types of parasites, endoparasite and the ectoparasite. Now apart from this, dear students, there is a third phenomena which is observed, that is called as brood parasitism. Now this is initially, or you can say actually observed in case of birds. Okay, this is called as brood parasitism. Now what basically happens in this, the parasitic bird, in this case the parasitic bird, it lays the eggs in the host of the eggs, and then the host incubates the egg and takes care of the eggs, and once it hatches, then the host is able to distinguish that it is not its own child. Like as you can see in case of cuckoo and the crow, कोयल और क्रो के केस में आपने ये देखा होगा, कौवे के केस में कौवा जो होता है, both have a same color and they have a same type of eggs. So cuckoo does not make its own nest. Cuckoo lays the eggs in the nest of the crow. The crow will take care the eggs, all the eggs, because he does not know that The eggs belongs to cuckoo. And when the eggs hatch, then it becomes identified. As you can see in the nest, आप देखिए उस nest के अंदर cuckoo ने अपने eggs lay कर दिए हैं. The crow will be taking care of it, and when they will hatch, then immediately the crow is able to identify, will be feeding to the child, you can assuming that it is their own child. So this special case, which is generally observed in case of the birds, is referred to as brood parasitism. The next, that is the fourth phenomena that we have, is commensalism. Commensalism. What is commensalism? देखिए यहाँ पर जो दो species हैं, let's focus on the examples first so that you can have clear idea. See, you must have observed there are certain orchid plants that will grow on the mango tree. Mango tree के branches पर छोटे छोटे orchid plants grow हो जाते हैं. So in this case, the mango does not get any effect. Mango के ऊपर कोई इससे effect नहीं पड़ता. That is, it has a neutral relationship. Orchid gets benefited from this. So orchid को फ़ायदा होता है. Mango tree doesn't have any effect, neither positive nor negative. So this relationship where one species gets benefited while others remain unaffected is referred to as communalism. Okay, it is called as commensalism. Second, as you can see, this is a whale fish, and on the surface of the whale you can see different barnacles, they are present. So here in this case, the barnacles, they will be benefited because they are present on the surface of the whale, while the whale remains unaffected. Whale को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है because barnacles are present on this surface. So it is an interaction where one species derives benefit and another remains unaffected due to the presence of the other. Okay. Third, as you can see, you must have seen that when you observe cattle, they are grazing in the field, you will find these ergots, they are generally moving, the cattle ergots, they are generally moving around the cattle. Okay, because you will find that these cattle, they forage closely to the cattle where they are grazing, because as they move, they stir up, they flush out certain insects from the vegetation that otherwise might be difficult for the ergots to find out. जैसे जैसे आपकी काउस और बफेलोज ग्रास में मूव करती हैं, तो कुछ इंसेक्ट्स हैं जो भागते हैं ग्रास में से, मूव करते हैं, and these ergots, they will trap those insects. So it becomes very you can say easy for them to trap those insects which is otherwise unavailable, which they otherwise cannot observe in the grass. So from this benefit, the ergots, they derive benefit, while cattle, they remain unaffected. So no effect by the cattle. The last that we see, the relationship between the sea anemone and the clownfish. Now in this case, the clownfish, it hides into the tentacles of the sea anemone. Okay, it hides itself into the tentacles of the sea anemone from its predators. Okay, it will hide itself. So the clownfish, it gets benefited because it gets protection, while the sea anemone does not have remains unaffected due to the presence of it. Clear? So this fish derives protection from the predators because the predators, they will stay away from the stinging tentacles of the sea anemone, while sea anemone, it does not derive any benefit from this clownfish. So such a relationship where one species derives the benefit and another remains unaffected is referred to as communalism. Then the last but not the least is called as mutualism. Now mutualism is a relationship between the two species where both derive the benefit. Suppose if this is the area and two species are present here, so both will have a positive impact on each other due to the presence. दोनों जो है, दोनों को benefit होता है इस association से. So it is entirely a positive relationship with both the species. Right? So first of all, the example is lichens. You must have observed lichens growing on the trees. Like this is in lichen, this is also lichen. In lichen, basically, it is an association between the algae and the fungus. Okay, here the algae will prepare food. Here the algae will prepare food and the fungus will and the fungus will provide the material that is needed for the preparation of food. Okay, so lichens, they are made up of two organisms, algae and fungus. Algae will bring about the photosynthesis, it will prepare the food, while the fungus will obtain all the necessary materials that are required for food production. It will absorb all the essential materials. So both are benefited from this. Algae will get the nutrients, while fungus will get the food that is being prepared by algae. The second example that we have, you must have observed mycorrhiza. Okay, it is an association between the fungus. As you can see, the fungus is growing in the roots of the root nodules of the higher plants. Okay, so it is an association between the root nodules of higher plants and the fungus. Now in this case, the fungus will again absorb the materials, essential materials from the soil, while plant will again prepare photosynthesis. It will photosynthesize and it will prepare the carbohydrates, which in turn will be provided to fungus also. So in this relationship also, the plants as well as the fungus both are benefited from their association. Now the third example I'm taking about the few examples from the where the plant and animals benefit each other through pollination and seed dispersal. Like in case of fig trees and wasps. Fig species, basically it is pollinated by wasp species. Only wasp species and no other species can pollinate the fig plant. So in this case, this fig plant, okay, it is will be pollinated by the wasp, and in turn the wasp will get a suitable area for the egg laying. ठीक है, तो वॉश को एरिया मिल जाता है जहाँ वो अपना एग लेइंग कर सकता है, प्लस फ्रूट को अपना पॉलिनेटर मिल जाता है, सो दैट इट कैन टर्न इनटू अ फ्रूट. Similarly, a very interesting phenomena that has been discovered in case of orchids. Okay, orchids के केस में एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग फिनोमेना ऑब्जर्व किया गया है. Orchids बेसिकली वो प्लांट्स हैं वेयर यू विल ऑब्जर्व a diverse kinds of floral patterns. They have a different kinds of flowers, and these different kinds of flowers, colorful flowers, they attract their pollinators so that the pollination can be brought about. Okay, now this special case that I need to discuss is in case of the sexual deceit that has been observed in case of Mediterranean orchids. Okay, it's a special case. In case of orchids, there is a special case that we are observing, case of Mediterranean orchids, which is called as Ophrys. Now what basically, if you look at this flower, this is the Mediterranean orchid. Now just look at the shape of the flower. The shape of the flower resembles the female wasp. Okay, in this case, the shape of the flower, it resembles the female wasp. So what will happen? The male wasp will visit the flower, assuming that there is a female is present and the male has a chances of copulation. It has a chances of mating with the female. Okay, the shape of the Mediterranean orchid female flower is such that it assumes that it is a female wasp, and male wasp will come and visit this flower, assuming that it is a female wasp which is sitting there, so that he can mate with the female wasp. Okay, so there is a cheating which is being done with the male wasp. The male wasp assumes that it is a female wasp which is present, and thus this phenomena is referred to as pseudo-copulates. The male will visit the flower. Okay, in turn the pollen grain will stick to the flower. When this male will go to the next flower, again pollen grains will be transported from one flower to the another. But this male flower, it has been cheated. Okay, it has been cheated because it visited the flower assuming that it is a female wasp. So this phenomena is called as sexual deceit. Okay, because the male visits the flower assuming that it is a female wasp, and he will be able to copulate, he will be able to mate with the female wasp. So this phenomena is called pseudo-copulation, while this complete cheating which is being done with the male wasp is referred to as sexual deceit. Okay, so we observe that the flowers also, you can say different kinds of flowers, they have developed different patterns so that they can ensure pollination. Okay, and in some cases it has also been observed that the flower has co-evolved with its pollinators. Okay, it has co-evolved with its pollinators. Flower has evolved along with the you can say its pollinators, like insects. So whatever modification that have occurred in the insects that pollinate them, correspondingly you will observe similar patterns, similar changes will be observed in the flowers that are being pollinated by those species. So in the nutshell, we can say that if two species, they are living in an area, they will be interacting with each other. They might have a beneficial interaction. They might have, you can say, a detrimental interaction, or they might have a neutral interaction. And we have discussed all of them. So this completes, you can say, all the interactions that we've talked about. If there is any doubt, you can talk, you can ask me. Now for today's, since we have completed this chapter, you will be making notes of this topic. You will read the page numbers 235 to 238, and along with this you will complete all your exercise question answers. Okay, so you will be completing your exercise question answers as well. And if there is any doubt, anything that bothers you, you find you're not able to understand, you can ask, you can send your queries personally to me. I'll definitely answer your queries. Okay, so that's all for today. Bye everyone. In